With liberals using children for political purposes, many students have begun to ignorantly speak out against guns. Too bad for a few kids who participated in an anti-gun walkout in California recently. They weren't laughing when they saw who was just behind them. About a month ago, the liberal mainstream media was begging teenagers to stop eating Tide Pods, acting as though they didn't know any better. It seems that sentiments about children rapidly changed for the left. These days, networks like CNN are saying that those same kids who were dumb enough to eat laundry detergent should now be given the right to vote. As a result, we've seen a rise in child activism, which, to be honest, isn't necessarily a bad thing. After all, everyone is entitled to express their First Amendment rights, and it's better to have an engaged youth than not. But, unfortunately for them, they're being led down the wrong path. By enabling emotional children to believe that their voice matters more on a topic than a rational adult, it's easy to see how one could get an inflated sense of self-worth. Right now, we're seeing just that, as children have become so caught up in the liberal hype that they've begun to break the law in order to push for what they think is right, or rather what the media has told them is right. Teenagers are now taking part in walkouts from school in order to advocate for gun control. In short, they simply walk out of class all at once in order to disrupt school and make their demands known. Sure, it's effective when it comes to grabbing attention, but it's not necessarily something you want to teach the next generation. First of all, you're telling them that they can break the law if they feel strongly enough about an issue, since they are, after all, required to be in school. Secondly, these kids will soon be off to work. Are they really just going to leave their paid position for random amounts of time, whenever they feel like it? My guess is that won't work out too well in the long run. Sadly, because their intentions align with the left, the liberal mainstream media is encouraging the disruptive behavior. Most recently, we've seen that children are eager, now more than ever, to appease the leftist agenda, as many took part in a California walkout, but things didn't exactly go according to plan, as Edge Review reports. As it turns out, students from Stagg, Edison, Chavez, Lincoln, and Village Oak high schools all left their schools at the same time, walked out to the street, and began to protest. However, things would get a lot less funny when they saw who was just behind them, as at least 5 students were arrested. According to KCRA 3, students jumped the school fences and got a little too excited. Before long, some had found rocks and decided to throw them at other people and vehicles along the side of the road. As if the vandalism wasn't enough, things got much worse, as at least one student assaulted a police officer, stole his baton, and then vandalized a police cruiser. In all, charges for the 5 arrested include battery on an officer, resisting arrest, taking an officer's baton, and vandalizing vehicles, including patrol vehicles. As one would imagine, officers put an end to the mayhem rather quickly, ordering so-called protesters to disperse. Once a few arrests were made, the rest was downhill from there. In the meantime, citizens have been forced to deal with the damage, including Caslita Jones, whose car was vandalized. "I'm really upset," she said. "If you want to protest, it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. Breaking out windows doesn't help anything. It's the blind leading the blind out there right now." The left wants to act like they're morally superior, but their actions to endorse this disruptive, dangerous, and violent behavior strongly contradict such sentiments.